Hi, so today I'm going to show you how I do a whipped back stitch, and the good news is because you've already done, well hopefully you've already done the back stitch, you already halfway know what you're doing with this one. So whipped back stitch is great for lettering, it's great for borders, it's great for decorative designs, it's great for stems on any flowers. Also, this stitch, you can make it a two-tone stitch, which I'm going to show you, which can create a really nice design effect. I hope you're enjoying these tutorials. If you are, please hit that thumbs up and give this a like and subscribe. Also, don't forget, if you haven't already, grab your free pattern. There's 3 of these patterns because over the next 15 weeks, I'm going to go over 15 different stitches that I think are really useful on embroidery. I've learned a lot of my stitches from the RSN Stitch Bank. So I'm showing you the traditional method for doing these embroidery stitches. Okay, so I've got my cotton threaded on my needle with a knot at the end, as always. So I'm just going to start by doing a back stitch all the way along this line, exactly as I did with the back stitch. So up from underneath, pull your cotton till the knot has reached the back of the fabric, and then bring your needle back down, move along 1 stitch on the line still, bring it up and push it back down through the hole that you last came up through. And we're just going to work our way all the way along this line with our back stitch. Okay, so now I'm at the end and I've got my cotton underneath. I'm going to bring my thread back up through that top hole. So my second to last hole, because this one would have been my last one, I would have gone back down through there to bring my cotton underneath. So I'm back up at the end of my back stitch, and now I'm just going to put my needle underneath this back stitch and bring it through. And then it ends up on the top, and then I'm going to bring it over and back underneath, and basically you're just whipping it back on itself. So we're still working in this diagonal motion that we was on our previous whip stitch, but instead of like whipping it over the fabric, if you like, we're whipping it underneath the stitches. The main thing, the most important thing with this is to make sure that you keep going in the same direction. So underneath up to the top, unless you decide to obviously start the other way around, in which case you just need to work that way the whole way down your thread. And what this does is this creates a really nice rope texture and design to your embroidery. That's why it is so great for stems and lettering. It can also round off your corners if you're going round letters. If you've got an S or a C or something like that, by whipping it, as I say, it just makes the curves really nice and rounded. So you can keep going all the way along in your same colour, but I did mention earlier that we can do this two-tone, so I'm going to show you how to do that. Now, what I'm going to do is, now I'm back up the top, I'm going to put my needle back through the middle of, or in between those 2 back stitches, and just bring it down so that the whip stitch is continued up to there, and it just goes back through the same hole as the back stitch to keep it all in a nice straight line. and then I'll just fasten it off. This is exactly what you would do as well if you needed to join some cotton when you're mid embroidery. Now I'm going to get some of my lighter pink because I think this will give quite a nice contrast. So to join my lighter colour in, or my new thread, whichever is for you, I'm going to go back up that hole that's in between the two back stitches that we ended on last time. Bring this up until the knot stops it from coming any further, and then I'm literally just going to go back underneath and up to the top. Oops, careful it doesn't get tangled around my needle minder. Move that along a bit, pop that out the way, and then I'm just going to continue whipping this all the way along. I think the other thing that I should say is with this whip stitch, you can do this with as many strands as you like. I probably wouldn't go lower than 2 or 3. In other words, I probably wouldn't do it with just one strand because I don't think you'll really see it. But you could use it with your 6 strands and it's just going to give you a chunkier design, which might be what you're going for, especially if you're doing lettering. And then when we get to the end, we literally just pop our cotton back through that first hole that we started on. And then just fasten it off underneath. And there we go, there is our whipped back stitch, and you can see that we've got the effect of just using one colour and then the whip stitch of using 2 different colours together. I really like both of these, and it depends on what I'm embroidering as to what effect I want to get as to whether I'd mix 2 colours or just stick with the one. But either way, it creates a really nice rope-like texture and just gives your threads and your embroidery piece a nice rounded sort of feel. I hope you've enjoyed this again. If you have, please hit that thumbs up and like, and hit that subscribe. And if you've missed any of the previous ones or you haven't got this pattern yet, please make sure that you go back and check out the previous videos and grab your pattern below. See you next week for chain stitch. Thank you.